Hi everyone. I am showered. I'm showered, I have makeup on, my nail polish is done, I'm wearing a shirt that I reached from way up high in my closet. Um, Starting to redefine what life looks like for me. I feel like it's so cliche to say my new normal because with the pandemic, everyone's been talking about the new normal. And I'm like, whatever. So this morning, so I'm just starting week 10. It's today's Monday, so Friday will be my 10-week mark. Being glass half full, I will say I'm starting week 10, not that I'm ending week 9. 10 weeks. Oh, wow. So 10 weeks is for Friday will be the end of that weird and awkward 6 to 10 week phase, which is very appropriate to why I'm showered and makeuped and looking more like what I used to look like back in the day when I would get up and go places and didn't have to talk about the C word and all that stuff. So what I want to focus on today is I am getting into that in-between phase. Well, I'm finishing up the in-between phase, and it's like, what does life look like now? I had an appointment this morning with the cancer center therapist, and every time I talk to him, there's something great that comes out of the conversation that's just like this epiphany of stuff. I hadn't talked to him for 2 weeks, and that was the first time I'd gone 2 weeks without speaking to him, and he's like, you can do it, Jen, you can get through these 2 weeks. And last week was rough. If you watched the vlogs that I did last Wednesday, the day after I had my Lupron injection, I was sitting in the corner in that couch and I was not in good shape. I think Tuesday night and Wednesday. And then Thursday I started feeling better. And yesterday I was able to be out from, 9 a.m. until, 4 p.m. or something. No, almost 5 I got home. That I was actually out, like outside, walking a bit, but my sons had a marching band festival competition thing, and it was a lot of, even though you're singing it in a seat, it's a lot of forethought that I had to do with what my body could handle and what it couldn't. And truly the hardest part of that whole 9 to 5 fun day was the driving. I drove through Boston and had a lot of potholes and things that weren't fun. So, but while I was at the marching band competition / festival, whatever you call it, I think it's a competition. Anyway, it's like I was there as mom, and the C word didn't really pop up. People didn't ask how I was doing, which I'm happy about, actually. The people that I'm closest with were looking out for me to make sure I was okay, and I'm so grateful for that. And I asked beforehand because I said, just in case, I don't want to be stupid and be far away from home, and then I'm in a position where like it hurts so much I can't safely drive home. So, and then I come home, like, today starts a new week, it's Monday, and then it's this damn bottle. It's the tamoxifen bottle. It's like everything seems relatively normal. I have a good, regular breakfast, and I have coffee in the morning, and it's fall flavored coffee because that's just what I would do. And everyone pretty much has vitamins or something to take in the morning, and I did that. But then separate from that, I have to wait till I'm on I choose to wait till I'm on a full stomach. And then my ALEXA goes off and says, reminder, take your meds. And that's these. And, other things have an end goal. I'm on meds for the kidney stone. I'm really hoping that when I see the endocrinologist next, she says, no, you're good. It was really the cancer. You don't have to take them anymore. We'll see. But with this, as I'm looking at it, it's funny because I flipped to I don't want to show you my address and all that stuff, but when I flip to the other side of the label, it says the only words that show up are every day. Like, I had to take this med every day. At the same time, you're supposed to do it every day. And that there's 5 refills. And I'm like, that's a lot of refills. It goes till like September 23rd of next year, which seems like forever from now. I will be an empty nester at that point. And I think that like 5 refills seems like a lot, but the reality is you're on tamoxifen for 5 years. 5 years. Even if they switch me to an aromatase inhibitor, I'm on it for a long time. And then after that 5 years is done, you may be on it for another 5 years. So you get to the point, and I asked the therapist this morning, I said, so when do I get to get the label? Like, when do I get to figure out, you know, am I a cancer survivor? I mean, I had cancer and I survived, but what if there's cancer cells in my body still that these meds have to fight? Like, I will never know that. So does that mean I'm just fighting for the next 10 years or forever? Because, you know, cancers pop up. Like, I don't know. How do you know when you're supposed to, you know, when you can label yourself as whatever? And prolific as he is and always has the right answer, he said, like, you had to define, like, what you call yourself. It's not just about cancer, it's about anything. You know, you get to decide. It's your life. It's like, what do you want your life to look like? Do you want to be one of those, you know, I wear, you know, pink all the time in October, and I have a pink ribbon, you know, tattoo, which FYI, I don't plan on getting. I know that there's certain groups that do like fun things like walking on a runway. I'd be totally into that, like totally into that. But I myself don't want to be the one who is, no offense to all my loyal viewers, I don't want to be the one who's talking about cancer and vlogging about it like every week for the next 5 years. Like, I don't plan on, I plan on going back to my show and having that be whatever it is. I don't plan on having pink override my entire life. That's not what I want. I want to be one of those people where it's like, oh yeah, by the way, side note, footnote, like she had breast cancer, had past tense. Like, not anymore. Because glass half fullness, there could be nothing in my body. And I could say, yes, I'm a breast cancer survivor. Which in theory, I am. I'm here. You know, I don't have breasts. Well, I have fake ones. But I'm here. That makes me a survivor. Did I have breast cancer? Yes. Do I still have it now? That's what you have to answer for yourself. Do I still have it now? This morning, I probably would have said yes. After having that conversation with him, I'd say no. I don't. I had stuff removed. I took care of it. I got the bad out. And this is just my insurance policy. Like any other meds you take. You know, yes, I have FMD. I take aspirin. It's preventative. I take aspirin to, you know, I mean, I think anyone over the age, I'm not a doctor, remember, but I think anyone over the age of 50 is supposed to be on a low-dose aspirin so that their blood flows more, you know, smoothly through their arteries and stuff. But I'm not on aspirin because something's like wrong. I'm like, yes, I have FMD, but, thank God, like, it's not like I've had a stroke. And if I can take something to help me not have a stroke, that'd be awesome. Like, why wouldn't anyone want that? So it's almost like you get this, this like stamp to say, okay, like had the surgery, boop, did that. You know, what are you going to do now? What do you want the rest of your life to look like? And I think, you know, cancer or not cancer, this is when I turned the vlog, by the way, into, this isn't about invasive ductal carcinoma. This is about life now. And yes, that's how it started. But where I am in my life is not going to be dictated by me having had invasive ductal carcinoma. I know I don't have that anymore because I don't have the ducts for the ductal part. So I know I'm a survivor of that. Yeah, so it's like, what, you know, what do you want to do now? And this is where you get to dictate all the things that you've learned from this process, now you get to say, okay, what am I going to do with all that stuff? So I'll share, like, personally, I've learned probably the most, two things. One about my body, clearly. But as much as people say, you know, listen to your body, listen to your body, listen to your body, there's always stuff that pops up. It's work. It's you know, being a mom, being a single mom, like something. Whoop. Oh, apparently we're gonna have a wind advisory. Anyway, that's one of the things about being on my phone, is like these things pop up. Anyway, I'll get to a place where like little distractions like that don't like totally throw me for a loop. But perfect example, things just pop up that want to thwart you into a different direction. And it's like, what direction do you want to go in? So listen to your body. I can say I did that before. I'm still up 15 pounds, I think, from where I was before. I don't say that as out of vanity to want to lose the weight. I say that out of health-wise. I don't feel myself when I looked at pictures at myself. Even when I look at the videos, it's like, that's not what I look like. The 100 some odd days of videos, like, to me, I look at that person and like, that's what I look like when I wake up in the morning some days, but like the swelling and stuff, I'm like, that's not me. I will get back to that. I will get back to what I used to look like, where I was comfortable, exercising where I was comfortable. But the listening to my body part is, you know, every body is different. Your body sends you these clues that you often just don't listen to, subconsciously don't listen to, because you're so like on the go doing XYZ, whatever. And my life was very much like that, where I'm like on the go doing things. And granted, like, you know, certain things I used to feel obligated to do. One of the things I've learned is I don't feel obligated to do anything anymore. I was having those pains, like those pings in my breasts after surgery. And those were my signs that, Jen, you're still not listening to your body. Like, stop, because you're not listening. And I feel like a 5-year-old being scolded by my breasts that aren't there anymore, but like my phantom breasts are scolding me. Even now, they're scolding me, you know, like, yes, Jen, you had your fun yesterday, but it might have been pushing it that you didn't get home till 5 o'clock. Because at nighttime, like my chest was like super heavy again. But it's a constant reminder. You have one body. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to take care of it? Because fortunately for me, I was able to fight this and beat it. And if I have to be on a med, whatever, you know, if I have to have these injections, whatever, they, you know, are actually serving my body to make it healthier, even though there's some side effects to it. But I'm not going to let that dictate who I am. So, yeah, so stopping to listen to your body. I go back to work in 2 weeks and 4 days. And it's weird having not been at work for this long. But it's the same thing there. Like, if I'm at work, if I'm anywhere for that matter, and I feel a ping in something and something doesn't feel right, I'm going to stop. Because even when it comes to work or whatever it is that you're doing, you can't be 100% at what you're doing if you're not listening to your body. Because if your body starts slowing down and your body is run down, you won't be able to do your job. You won't be able to, you know, do the things as a parent that you'd like to. You won't be able to do the things like for yourself that you'd like to. I feel like I should shift this because you can see my wine glasses in the background. There we go. The salt lamp is a lot better to look at. So that's where I am with the health part of listening to my body. You know, my body's giving me cues about things. And even with the weight, like, yes, it frustrates me. I cut my hair before surgery, so it just would be less of a headache. But my face tends to look chubbier. Like I don't feel like myself that way yet. And I'm not at a place that I need to be concerned about the weight right now. Right now, my concern is getting mobility back in my chest. I started PT on Friday. Every day I get exercises to do, which is cool. Like, it's all computerized now. Are they easy? No. Am I pushing myself too hard? No. I'm pushing myself to the point of discomfort, not pain. I also have had, yet again, my the limit to how much I can carry has been cut down again. Same thing. If I'm in too much pain, it's like, why are you in so much pain, Jen? And it's hard when you hear different things, because one camp will tell you, you're fine, you're healed, you're good to go about life and do your thing. And then your body's like reminding you that, no, you have cement blocks like duct tape onto your chest. At least that's what it feels like. But the only person that can judge what your body can handle is you. If it's too much for your body will tell you. You will be in pain. You'll be in discomfort. And I haven't taken Tylenol in weeks. Because it seems like weeks. I'm pretty sure it's been weeks since I've taken anything. I know it's been weeks. I still occasionally get headaches, but I wonder if those will start to go away now that I'm much more conscious about what I'm carrying. Even when it comes to stuff like taking out the trash, like I can't take out my trash. It's too heavy to take down the stairs. And if I drag it, it might break, and that would be a bad day. Or I can take out smaller bags of my trash that, don't weigh a lot, which would require more trips, whatever. But I can't say I have learned that 100%, because obviously it's an everyday reminder. But listening to my body, key. Like, life has to stop if my body is telling me something. I have to listen to it. Right now with the tamoxifen, again, sometimes I have the headaches, the nausea and all that stuff from last week. I don't know. We'll see if that happens again when I get my next Lupron shot. I don't know. But there's other side effects that I'm like, nope, I refuse to have that as a side effect. And I very, very much believe in mind over matter, because I just refuse to have that be a thing. And I know I've I've mentioned before about like the Lupron where, the night sweats, which, by the way, I don't have the night sweats anymore. I'm not going to say knock on wood, because like I am doing what I can do to make that not happen. Whether it's a wives' tale and that doesn't actually work, who knows? But I know that I don't have the night sweats anymore, which is fantastic. The hot flashes, well, yesterday I was outside all day, so it was pretty cool. But I didn't really have them. If anything, it worked to my advantage if like I felt warm all the time when it was freezing cold out. Not freezing, but it was like 50 degrees outside and everyone's shivering, and I'm like, I don't feel that cold because I'm having one of those 3-hour hot flashes. It's not so bad sometimes, the inability to orgasm, that's the number 3. And I'm like, nope, I refuse to have that one too. And if I need to stop by a shop and pick up a little gift for myself so that way I can make sure that doesn't happen, and that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. But the nausea thing with the tamoxifen, like, we'll see. I didn't have that before. I feel like that was just from the Lupron combination. We'll see how that goes. But what I refuse to do is to have this bottle dictate what my entire life is going to be like. I mean, right now I'm taking it at 11 o'clock. So right now 11 a.m. is like, okay, it's 11 a.m. Let's take the cancer pill. Once I go back to work, obviously, like, we'll be starting my day earlier, not having leisurely breakfast anymore. And then, it won't be such an 11 o'clock bing, whatever. It'll just be like, have my breakfast and then get up and go do work. And then hopefully be sidetracked enough from work that I'm not thinking about that. So that's where I want to be. That's how I want to define things for myself. And listening to my body. Because I mean, like I said, I've said this a million times before, but I knew my body was off. I knew something was wrong. And while what happened? I had my Mirena replaced. That's like when everything went kind of haywire with my body. which makes sense in hindsight. Having a Mirena replaced, it's like you're putting this new piece of estrogen in your body. And like, here's these cancer cells that are like, woohoo, partay. And that's when things started like snowballing for me, which is just so crazy because that was like almost a year and a half at this point, right? July, August, September, October, a year and 4 months. And I had the kidney stone and I'm like, what? Like, where the hell did that come from? And then I had COVID and I'm like, I shouldn't be having COVID now. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I wasn't even around anyone. I don't understand. Like, my body was fighting and I wasn't, it's not like I could say, I could never have guessed that this is what it was fighting. Never. And from what I learned this morning, most people that have breast cancer, you don't have signs that you would know, oh, I have breast cancer. I didn't have a lump. I've said that many times. There wasn't some like big red flag that, oh yeah, Jen, this is what's wrong. How the hell would I have known that? If there's no blatant lump and I said, can you just double check whatever? And then, here we are. So who do you want to become? Yeah. Listening to your body. That has to be number one, more so than anything. The other part is about relationships. Romantic, friend, family, all of that. I have learned a ton of things about other people and my relationships with other people with this process. I have learned, finally, to prioritize myself over everything, to not listen to what other people have to say. Well, I mean, sometimes I do if I find it helpful, but more often than not with this process, I've found things not helpful. And I haven't trusted my own instinct with things because I listen to other people too much, which sounds such a high school thing to say, but it's true. Everyone wants to give their 2 cents. And with breast cancer, it's like, you could have 25 people in one room who have breast cancer that have 25 completely different stories. So, just by saying, oh, I have a friend who's going through blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but everybody is different. Their treatments are different. Their boobs are different. Their bodies are different. Their ages are different. How they handle it is different. There's the side things on the outside that impact how you're going to heal or not heal, whatever, from the cancer. Everybody is different. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. And it loops a little bit back to my body has been through a lot, but damn it, my body is stronger than I ever thought it was. Ever, 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 ever. When I used to kickbox, I'm like, yeah, my body is strong. I had no idea until I went through this stuff. You watch those videos of a mastectomy. The implants, I still haven't totally wrapped my head around as to what they do. I'll get there. But just watching the mastectomy part, and if you're curious, watch it. You will have a whole newfound respect for people. Oh my gosh. But it's almost barbaric. And I'm like, I survived that. And I can say, because I showered tomorrow, I showered this morning. And even my physical therapist, when she was looking at my scar, she's like, the work looks fantastic. And I didn't see that. But just after having this discussion this morning, I showered and I shaved my armpits, which is, it's a big deal every time. Not on my left side, but the right side. It's like, how do you shave your armpit when you can only lift your arm up so high? It's not very easy. But I look in the mirror afterwards because it's there. And I pass by. And today was the first time where I passed by where, my breasts aren't perfect. No one's breasts are perfect. Even if you've had plastic surgery, intentionally, most people are not, in the camp, they think their breasts look perfect. If you are, great. But mine don't look perfect. And they don't look perfect before. And not for nothing, even with the scars, they do look a hell of a lot better now than they did before. So today was the first day where I looked in the mirror and I'm like, you know what? They don't look so bad. I know eventually I'll have nipples tattooed on there, and I'm sure they will look fantastic. I'm beyond fantastic. Spectacular. They use much bigger words in plastic. Spectacular. They will look spectacular. I can't envision it right now. But I look at them and I'm like, yeah, they have scars. I have scars like on my body for things, you know, and they all tell stories. It's like tattoos, you know, they all tell stories. Which is sad because my wrist tattoo is starting to wear off. They all tell stories. So anyway, going back to relationships. I would say with your friend relationships, I did the vlog about the circles of where people are. I think that's a really important vlog to watch if you're going to watch one. I think it was like the fluidity of your circles of friends. And I love that it sounds so bizarre. I love that what was my circle here and the people that aren't there anymore by their choice has opened, so they're out here, but has opened up space here and allowed other people to become closer to me that I feel like I have deeper connections with. I feel like I can be more vulnerable with. I can ask things like, you know, I'm nervous about, or not nervous, but, you know, I said, I want to make sure I have backup, like for yesterday. I want to make sure I have backup. Like, can you please check with me before you leave to make sure I'm okay to drive home? And, you know, if people don't step up, then maybe they need to be out here. You know, I don't have the patience for that anymore. I really don't. I don't have the patience to chase anyone anymore. I really, really don't. I feel like the people that are meant to be in your life will be in your life, but sometimes you have to get out of your own head, or mostly out of the head of listening to other people, to know who are the right people to be in this circle. And unfortunately, / fortunately for me, like it took this for me to realize, why am I listening to other people about who I should be spending my time with? Why am I chasing to try to have people pay attention to me when meanwhile there were people that wanted to spend time with me and loved me and cared for me that I just wasn't seeing it? And now I see it. Now I see it. I finally see truly the powerhouse that my body is, that my soul is, that I am as a human. And who do I want to give that energy to? Who do I want to have in that circle? You know, even I had a conversation with my mom. She called, or I called, I think, to fill her in on stuff, whatever. But I broke down crying on the phone. And I said to her, like, I just wish she could be in my apartment and put a pillow on her lap and have me lay down with my head on the pillow. Because I used to do that when I was little, and I feel so comforted. And she's, I mean, she lives like 6 hours from here, and she's not able to drive, like, it's, you know, and I understand that, whatever. But it was probably the most vulnerable conversation I've had with my mom, and in a while. And granted, like, I was a bit aggressive of how I first started getting into it, but I was pretty aggressive the past couple of weeks. But I have to say the aggressiveness has almost allowed me to be more vulnerable, where I almost feel like my aggressiveness was me protecting myself. After watching especially the plastic surgery videos, I became much more protective of my chest and my body as a whole. Like, no, like I've been through a lot with this whole thing, aside from stuff that happened before. You know, I was in a car accident. Yeah, my gorgeous car was destroyed. You know, I went through a divorce. Like, I went through a lot of things that could crush people. Literally, if you're talking about the car. But no, it's like, how do you want your life to go? How do you want to define yourself? You know, what energy do you want to be around? It's not about what other people think at all. No one knows what it's like to be in your body but you. And everyone has their opinions based on whatever facts that they know, but you are the only one who has all the facts about you. You know, I know which family members, like, I want to keep near and dear to me. And I'm learning what friendships are the most pure, where there's not so much trying. And I love that. And even like looping to romantic relationships, you know, you shouldn't have to try so hard. And the ones that are the most special is like when you don't have to try so hard. You could just do one small little thing, and it's like how that makes you feel, and you know how your body even responds, like the whole butterflies in the stomach thing. That's a great feeling when you feel safe with someone. When you can feel like you can just be yourself. That's what's most treasured. But it's all about you. It's not about what anybody else has to say. And I'd say, it sucks for me that it took cancer for me to really understand what I want from friendships and from family and from romantic relationships. I deleted like all of my online dating apps today. Because I'm like, that's just not me. Why didn't I not realize that like years ago? It's just not me. So I'm like, bye. delete. And it was a great feeling because I'm like, that's not what I want. That's not me. It's not me. I know what I want. And I know what I deserve. And I know what fuels me. And I know now what makes me feel and even look like the gem that I want to be. And it's an amazing discovery as I'm at that point now. Thank God for those crazy 6 to 10 week crazy points or whatever, where not crazy, but when everything's all up in flux that you don't really know what to do with yourself. It's complete discovery. And, as much as, right now, like my armpits really hurt right now. And my boobs are a bit heavy, but tolerable. And my feet are freezing. I don't know why. But my heart is just full and open. And it just, physically, maybe it's a hot flash coming up, but it physically makes me feel warm. Just knowing that, here's what's being presented to me in the form of people, that I don't have to try so hard. And it's just meant to be. Because I'm trusting myself. I'm listening to my body. I'm listening to my mind. I'm listening to my heart. And it's like you become your own author for what you want life to look like. And I get to make that decision. I get to decide if I'm going to be the one to have the pink, ribbon tattoos or whatever. And I'm not going to. Nothing that there's anything wrong. It's just that I don't want to define myself like that. I want to be someone who, yes, I had breast cancer, period. That's it. No judgment, no right, no wrong. It's just the way things are. With FMD, it's interesting because that I feel more like I want to be on the bandwagon with the FMD thing because there's not enough research on it. So I want to be part of the finding out more research on it. And what can I do to fundraise? And what can I do to support the FMD Society of America? Like that kind of stuff is different. I don't really know why. The underdog? I don't know. Because it's so, it's not diagnosed very, well, it is more frequently now, but it's often underdiagnosed that I feel like I know people don't know what it is or about it. And, I don't really know what that's about. I don't define myself that way, but I have no problems, and I actually am proud to wear my FMD shirts. It strikes up conversation about what is this? To come up with, answers to questions. I don't feel that way about the cancer. And maybe the difference is because, I'm not going to die from FMD. I know a lot of people that have it and haven't died from it. Breast cancer, you can die from, and I didn't. And I can try to analyze that, but I'll just let it come as it does. I don't know if that's, I don't know. Maybe that's why I want to separate it from me, because it could have killed me, and it didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to sit with that one for a bit. But what am I gonna do? I don't know what I'm gonna do right now. I can do whatever I want. That's the whole point. I think I'm gonna put socks on because my feet are freezing. But that's where I am right now for week 10. What I should do is my PT exercises. And yeah, I'm just gonna listen to Jen and see where things are, and be grateful in a very bizarro way that I'm at this stage. I can feel myself getting flushed. Am I getting red? Because I can feel myself getting hot right now. Here comes one of my hot periods. Well, that's funny. Listening to your body, honoring relationships, thinking about who you want in your life and who you don't want in your life. Who truly puts a smile on your face without you having to think about it? You know, who do you want to have around you? Who brings you feelings of worth and love without having to try? They just do, just by their presence. That's what I want to be around. And I'm grateful for this journey, as cockamamie as it may seem, that has led me to understand how I want the rest of my life to look and who I want in that circle. Yeah. All right. That's where I'm going to leave you. I'm going to go put socks on. All right. That's the beginning of week 10. I will see you whenever I see you. I don't know, when there's some update, I will fill you in. Until then, listen to your body. Don't try so hard. And surround yourself by the people that you know love you. Do not take that for granted. Bye, everyone.